Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm here. Summertime is here. It is almost 90 degrees. I would show y'all my weather XM station, but yeah, we know the condition of that. Hope everybody's doing well. Glad y'all took time away from y'all's vacations in Honolulu and in Greece with all y'all's Wingbits rewards to come watch live. I know this was a last minute live. I didn't know if I'd be able to be freed up. We had some family stuff going on. Still do. Um, but I was able to free up a little bit. So figured I'd do a quick live. Let's see. So, for those of y'all who reached out and asked, I don't know why I'm talking. There's two people here, and I'm one of them. But anyway, what the hell? I'm starting. I know cryptos get boring. I'll tell you what. I even tried watching some crypto videos. It was yesterday. I was somewhere bored out my mind. Let me just try to catch up with some crypto videos. And listen, if I have, I know I ranted about this before, but I guess it's like we're all just stuck in this time loop. I worked this fair over the weekend, and people around town are starting to know that I have this YouTube stuff, so people want to come to me for crypto stuff. If I had another jackass come up to me telling me how somebody at the plant they worked at told them to put everything they had into XRP, I was gonna puke. And I said, "Well, what happened to the guys at the plants that said that a year ago?" "Oh no, they said as soon as this Iran thing's done, with the credit card companies, XRP is going through the roof." And I said, "Well, I heard that back in 2018 to 2019, then 2020, then 20. Then I was told as soon as the SEC court case was done, XRP was going to the moon and all the credit cards are taking over." And I'm still waiting for it. I'm still waiting for the $10 XRP. I'm still waiting for it. And I told the dude, stay the hell away from it. I said, is it relatively low right now? Sure. Could it go up to $2, maybe $3 at some point in the future? Sure. If you're good with that, that's fine. But please don't get into XRP thinking it's going to 10, 15, $100. And you're still watching Wendy O peddle that shit over and over. And it's like she should be ashamed of herself. But I guess she's doing it for the ratings, for the XRP army following her. It's just disgusting. And you're watching these YouTubers who I have respect for, but there's certain YouTubers you don't see right now who 6 months ago were telling us all these micro tokens to buy and stuff. And where are they at now? They ain't telling you that they're hurting bad because all the crap they told us to buy, these micro tokens, micro cap tokens that we've never heard of before, that were supposed to go through the roof and all this stuff and make us all gazillionaires. they're not even making videos right now. So crypto's in this born. I mean, if this ain't, I know people say this isn't a bear market because of certain analytics, but it awfully feels like a bear market again. This feels like it did 2-3 years ago when we were in a full bear market. Bitcoin might not be at 17,000 or 18,000 or 20,000 or 25,000, but it sure feels dead and flat. Influx Mining stopped posting in Discord many months ago. So what do we think about Wingbits on topic of token burns? I know people have asked about it. The only thing I would like to know is, if you look at their tokenomics white paper, whatever you want to call it, it says that 50% of their, payments coming in for data will be used for buying and burning. We know that they had several contracts that have been signed over the last 2-3 years. Excuse me. And we know in the previous AMA, 2 or 3 AMAs ago, we know that they even kind of bragged that how successful they were becoming because the first year contracts weren't that much because it was the first year contracts. It's very bullish, if that's the term you want to use, for their business model, because you had several of those people who signed the 1-year contracts. And look, we're taking their word for it. It's their AMA. I don't think they would lie about this because they don't have to lie about it. They could have just not mentioned anything at all. But they came back and said they had several customers who came when their 1-year contract was up, that they then renewed for multiple years for a lot more money because it wasn't a 1-year trial type basis anymore. Again, that was all done, though, 2, 3, 4 months ago. The money that came in from that, did that 50% split up into liquidity to get these DEXs and these and Kraken established? Or is that sitting on the side that they're kind of waiting for me, because I'm just a grumpy a-hole? What I would have did, I would allow people. Now I've said this before. I said this last week. So this is nothing new. This is not new epiphany or something like that. I said this last week because people brought the same thing up last week. I would allow people that have the paper hands. And look, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with paper hands. I've said it before. I was expecting people to sell because we know what's been happening in DeepIn. So don't take that as a negative. But the people who sold right away, maybe Wingbits is allowing them to get that shit out their head, get them coins done, tokens done. And then at some point they're going to start, hey, it might be the first of the month. Who knows? You got May 1st coming up, whatever day that is. Might be the first Monday. Might be the 15th of the month. I don't know. I don't know how GeoNet and these other ones do it. If they're doing it the first of the month or the 30th of the month or something like that. Could they be holding all this money and waiting, all this revenue and waiting to buy and burn at that point? I don't know. I've been lurking in the Wingbits Discord. A lot of people there now know what the hell they're doing, so it's not like I'm helping them out. So whenever I do go to try to help people out, I just realize I don't know what the hell I'm talking about because it's really passed me up. So I don't know. I know people have come up. I can tell you this. I see some people complain about claims not working. I'm using Phantom, and I have 2, 3, 4 hosts or whatever that have their Phantom wallets on here. We're claiming with no issue and we're receiving issues. So I have to say that. I still will have to say, despite what the future holds at this point, I do agree with a lot of people's sentiment that this was probably one of the most smoothest TGEs ever. Like 10 o'clock, at least it was 10 o'clock in my time. 10 o'clock a.m. came for us and switch clicked, and it was there. It was done. It was going. There was no failures, no problems, no nothing. So, I listen, if anybody saw my post in my Discord on Wingbits, I am not going to sit here and put this fake face on y'all because, oh, he's a Wingbits Maxi, whatever the hell y'all want to call me. Look, guys, I'll call it like it is. I told y'all in that Discord, I want to puke on my freaking shoes right now because, hey, I missed the 1 cent thing. I could have claimed right on the 1 cent. And I'm like, I just got a feeling. And what did the feeling get me? The same thing it got me with several other tokens. And last I checked, it was at 0.066 or whatever it was. And I just want to go puke and cry in the corner somewhere. Yeah, I don't, I didn't really go back and look at, but this, I want to make sure I say it all the way. This isn't entropy. There is a project with a very big future ahead of it. If they do have the 10 or 12 customers like they're claiming they have, which I have, again, no reason to doubt that. And one thing I will defend them on, and I said this a bunch of times in the past year. They never claimed this was going to be Lambo money. Their hope, I heard it say this before, they may not even say this now, but they were hoping people would ROI on a device. What was the device? It's $400, $500 that maybe, they would be able to ROI in 6 months to a year. I know it's hard for me to judge on what we're making because I have 15 devices, but with my bonuses from testnet and stuff like that, with my 15 devices, I'm clearing like, I don't know how to y'all. I don't know. I don't know. I'm 50. I'm clearing about $30 a day. But again, that's 15 stations. So you divide it up, I'm getting about $2 a day on a station. That's also including testnet bonus. Just remember that. So that averages out. I also don't know how it worked because people have asked about the hex rewards. They said hex rewards. I thought they said the hex rewards were getting that. They changed their mind and were getting that all at once. Somebody else said it seems to be spread out. I never got a clarified answer on that. But like I said, I've seen worse. But if this can hold at the 0006, and then we get a buy and burn at some point, maybe that gets us back up to 1. I told y'all from no, I can't say from day one, because at first I was saying I'm scared to even give a price prediction, but in my mind it was always a penny. And then when that came out, because I wanted to clarify, because some people were joking saying that Grumpy said it was going to be 25 cents or 10 cents or 5 cents or 6 cents. I'm like, no. Grumpy thinking it's going to be a penny. And then I would hope it would go up from there. We know the crypto market sucks right now. I don't know. But you hope maybe some of these big whales got their crap out the way. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, people were so worried about Grumpy, and I was getting called out in that Discord week or 2 or 3 before TGE about, oh, Grumpy's got 1 million tokens, and what's he gonna do? This wasn't my best move in the world, but I have yet to sell a single token. I looked at it as I made my $1,000 back when we had a pre-sale for the 0.005. Look at it. If I would have held it, even right now, it would have been a better price. But I looked at it as I secured my $1,000. Blew it on shit that I wish I wouldn't have, but it is what it is at this point. Oh, see you. Oh, look at Tech Hustler 2029. What's in 2029? What's happening, man? If you're still here. What happened in Nadix? Nadix has gotten rid of their driving app. So unless you have a Tesla for that Drive 360 or whatever it's called, is that Drive 360 that they have? Either way, the thing about putting your phone on the dashboard and mapping is done. You got 2 more days of it. What were we making? $10 a month, maybe, if that. I am finishing out the month just for the hell of it, going out with Blaze of Glory. I'm sorry, my wife is texting me. Priorities. Um. So yes, I'm finishing out the month for Nadix. Not expecting much. Maybe some people have quit already, so maybe we get a little bit extra tokens. But at that price, like I said, I think we were making, like, I was running it every day, still going back and forth to work. I run my Nitro. I think, like I said, I'm getting maybe $9 or $10 a month. Even my referrals were going down every month, so I knew other people were quitting it. Hey, it was a free app. So even getting $10 a month, and I ran it for the last 10, 12. How long have I been running that now? I mean, since mainnet. 12, 14, 16 months. Hell, I mean, even if I made $10 or $12 from it, that's $140, $160. Token price went down like everything else. Do you know Wings is on Tangent? I do not think Wings is on Tangent. Somebody asked that earlier if Wings is on Tangent yet. I know they said no, but I don't know if it has come up or not. But I don't think Wings is on Tangent. Like I said, I'm keeping my Wings right now on Phantom. Hey, it's not the most secure place in the world. I have several Phantoms with several different 12-word passwords. And I've even started to split stations up with those different Phantoms so that, hey, if one just happens to get hacked because of a shitty project I was involved in, not all my Wings are gone. I would hope that maybe Exodus at one day. I mean, I know Wings is a Solana token. Sometimes it's weird about that stuff. If I like Exodus more than I like Phantom, my Wings ain't really worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, so I wouldn't put it on a cold wallet. This is we were week into this. I know I have like 3 stations right down that are right now. I got 2 different hosts sending their stations back to me. Just happens to be weird timing. One is moving. The other one, we just decided it wasn't for the best. The station been offline for 2 months anyway, so it is what it is. He said in my GeoNet back to me, or GeoSign or whatever it's called, and I have to find a place now, and every hex down here is taken up. So I got to figure out where the hell I'm putting it at. That's tomorrow's problem. So I need to get those 2 or 3 stations back up. But while I'm trying to do best for the project at today's price, making $100, 100 tokens a day, you're making 80 cents. At least for me, who has 13, 12, or 13 stations all operating. I'm not dropping everything to get that station back online just yet. Thursday, tomorrow I have meetings. Thursday I have a meeting. Friday, my daughter's softball team is going to the state championships tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. Then Sunday I start an emergency conference. I know some of you might remember I went to that last year. Emergency managers conference. Beginning of hurricane season and stuff. That's gonna be all next week. So I don't know when I'm gonna get these Wingbits stations up. I don't know. Oh, GeoNet burns every night. Does GeoNet burn every day? But I remember seeing, and look, I believe you. Like I'm sure y'all follow it more than I do because I just follow what the Discord says. But I just remember them making an announcement every so often on the Discord that would say, GeoNet burned X amount, Honor burned X amount, and even Demo burned X amount. So I didn't realize that that was a gradual thing that was going on, and I guess they just did this to post every other month or something to make the amount look big. So that's what I'm hoping. Busy exec influx mining is asking, is there an on-chain explorer available? But it's got to be, if you look up the Wingbits tokens on Explorer, it should tell you what's going on with the tokens, right? If you actually look up the token address, you would think. Um, I'm also curious to know, does this have to do with their new station that we've been waiting on also, or whatever that it is, gaming? I don't know. Make sure if y'all are using Kraken, and I do have a code if you need to start using Kraken, if you want to use that CEX Central Exchange. I do have a code below to get you a bonus and help the channel out. But Kraken has a minimum of 800 wings deposit requirement. That means if you send them 700 wings, you're not going to see it. That's some bullshit if I ever heard it. Again, that's not Wingbit's fault. That is strictly Kraken. But the fact that I mean that's $8 worth of I keep thinking a penny. $6.60 worth of, it means the tokens will just disappear. Kraken will not provide support for recovery. Wingbits cannot help in this case either. So they're telling you don't send your daily rewards to Kraken. But that's some horse shit. If I ever heard it, shame on Kraken for that. I'm besides myself on that. That's just, this is the shenanigans that people is anybody else just getting completely, look, I know my YouTube channel depends on crypto. Y'all, I've already seen that my outdoor channel and my cooking channel that people wanted me to try was wildly unsuccessful. If I don't do crypto, I have no channel here. But has anybody else had this I know 619 is the first in line, but has anybody else had just enough of crypto at this point? Like the shenanigans, the XRP shenanigans, the just deep in crypto as a whole, Trump playing games, and it seems like him and his family are the only ones making. I'm not trying to make this a political rant. It's just something that's been covered many times in media, even no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Seems like they're the only ones that are doing well in this. We all thought there'd be a lot of clarity. I know there's several people on YouTube who have talked about this, but we thought we'd get a lot more clarity with crypto, and it's been a befuddled mess. We still have the same person as president. He's made some positive changes to SEC and everything else, but yet our $100-something Bitcoin is down to 77. Don't get me started on alts. I still argue we never even had an alt season, and we're not going to have one. I know y'all just love my positivity. That's why y'all come to this channel, just for positive hugs and yeah, kumbaya. Man, we are 14% for the month. What am I talking about? We were at 66,000 a month ago. Look, we're coming back. We were at 90,000 a year ago. I don't know, guys. I don't know where we go from here. when I was at this fair, like I was telling you about this fair, people said, okay, so should we just buy Bitcoin? And I'm like, like, eh, do you take a chance on some of these goofy altcoins thinking they might go up just a little bit? I mean, do we really not see Solana going back up to 100, 125, 150 bucks? Can you not see Solana ever going to 160 bucks and doubling your money? Ever? Ever, ever? Forever, ever? Cardano's $24. A year ago, it was 70, and it was up to 79, 80, 92 cents. I mean, think about it. That's 3x in your money. If it gets back just to that, like, do you not? So this is the conundrum that I put myself in the bear market, because I consider this a bear market. Is the smart move is to slow and steady. Tortoise wins the race, the turtle wins the race, and you put it in Bitcoin and just keep on going and screw the rest of this. But this is the shit that lures me in right here, is that you put money in Cardano, do you not see just get to 50 cents again? Ever? Just doubling your money real quick? I mean, think about it. Even Bitcoin's got to go up to $148,000 just to double your money. Is that right? I failed college math. Something like that. $154,000. Ethereum's up for the year, for the month. So Milkman said Wings is, I don't know. I don't know if that. Car Camping Guy says his demo is still paying. Dude, you're the only one I know. Because I've spoken to several people, and our demo ain't paying shit. So when I go to like my GMC Canyon that still has it plugged in, it tells me subscription. Everything tells me subscription required. A subscription expired, which is bullshit, because my subscription actually ends January of 2027. But because I didn't want to attach my credit card to it, it's expired. That is the worst horse shit. Well, it ain't the worst, but it seems like a lot of these deep pin projects are competing for the worst. But that's bullshit. But I'm not getting anything for my demo. So, on 3 out of my 5 vehicles, my demos have been unplugged and thrown in the corner. Probably never to be seen again. Now, see, when this is some shit. When I click on my vehicle, it tells me what my estimated rewards are supposed to be. Oh, that's some shit, huh? Let me see something. So my estimated rewards on my vehicle, which was a level 7, should be 62. So basically, it's 10 cents a day. What, how will I survive, Demo? How am I going to survive without the dime? Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless you for the 10-cent dime that you gave me. Maybe if it was true silver, maybe. But what's happened to us? We're making 80 cents a day. We're fucking happy about it. Like, come on. No, non-crypto people probably come across my YouTube watching my Monday when I was doing the Monday Tuesday videos. Like, hey, this is our number one project. We're making $1.10 a day, and they're like, well, fuck. I hope you retired. Like, uh, is this what we all have? You know, I don't know, man. I don't want everybody to unsubscribe, but I'm sorry if y'all came here for a happy go lucky video, but y'all should know better than that. This is just a reality check. Like, what the hell's wrong with us when we're ecstatic? The over and under, if we're happy or not, is if we're making over $1 a day in crypto and deep in projects. You know, Demon doesn't even have a shop in there anymore. They're dead, dead, dead. Is there Discord even? Look, I mean, I enjoyed doing videos and getting to talk about all these different projects and stuff like that. What happened to them all? Like, what they all just slowly did, and at some point, you know, I still have people texting me, and look, and if it's anybody in this live, I'm not dogging you out. Don't take it the wrong way, but you look at the track history so far. Even GeoNet, I know y'all can get pissed, 'cause I know some of y'all defend GeoNet wholeheartedly. Don't worry, in GeoNet, in 2 months, y'all getting y'all kneecaps slashed on y'all. Um, like, like if another deep pimp, I got people. Well, that's what I was getting at. If people, I still got people who would text me about new projects, and I'm like, listen, I know I probably should, for the betterment of this channel, to keep this channel going. That I don't want it to end up put way too much blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice into, and money. I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. I enjoy having these bullshit sessions like this, even if only 14 people are watching. But it's like we had a crossroads, like a fork in the road. Like, what do we do? Like, do I just keep getting into shitty crypto projects just so I have a crypto subject to talk about with y'all? Or a crypto deep in project? Because some of the stuff that people, some of it, I'm not gonna lie, some people have texted me some stuff that looks somewhat intriguing. I had one person who is a fellow YouTuber, and I don't want to say his name, who has started his own project with somebody else, but it's like $300 or $400 buy-in, and that's at a discount. And I'm like, pass, dude. Like, I wish you luck. It's good. You have a very stiff, hard uphill battle ahead of you. Even if your project is successful, one of Grumpy's rules is a project can be successful and still shitty for the miners. And that's what I kind of warned with Wingbits possibly, is Wingbits is wildly successful. I'm ready to say that already. If they truly have 12 different customers plus, it's a successful project. The people who are out there saying that the Wingbits would never make it because there's all these free companies out there. There's no free companies out there. Radar Box and ADSB Exchange and FlightAware, that shit ain't free. It's free for you if you give them data for free. But when United or one of these other airlines or whoever these people are buying this kind of data, they're paying out the nose for it. And for a long time, FlightAware had that market covered, cornered, whatever you want to call it. So to me, Wingbits going this far, hitting TGE, having the customers that they have is a success. So new projects coming out, like, I'll ask y'all this, and because I like to have discussion. I like to have feedback from y'all. Watching what's happened with Wingbits, how do y'all feel about 4D Sky at this point? Me, I paid for a DIY device. I already had a pod because it came from Helium. I already had SDRs because it came from the other previous project that was a scam. That hopefully that dude's going to jail at some point. So from majority of my DIYs devices for Wingbits, I had all the stuff already. For some people, it costs you $450, $500 for a helium, for a WB200, or some people bought the MGW310 so you can get GeoNet with it. But for 2.5 times that price, how do you feel about 4D Sky? I have a free one. That's why I'm in it. But I can tell you right now, Grumpy wouldn't. This is just me. This is only me. This is not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. This is just me rambling on. I wouldn't pay $1,100 to get into that. With no idea of what the rewards are going to be, with no idea of TGE. I have kids, man. I wish I had $1,100 flash cash to go and spend on that. Did you buy any wings this week? No, I have not did anything. My wings I'm claiming every day, going into my Phantom wallet and my host Phantom wallets and my other Phantom wallets that I've made, like I explained earlier, and that is it. I have not bought. I don't have cash to buy right now. I don't. It is so freaking tight. I know I tell you all that every week. I try not to tell you all that because people make fun of me on Discord. Because goddamn, a YouTuber actually has bills to pay and stuff, and isn't a millionaire. But those so-called millionaires, I really would love to start calling some out because I had some people. I was in the text group with 2 other guys who we were talking about some of these millionaire. Look, you see, I got me nervous, and now I'm using my back scratcher. Y'all know what happens when I start talking about certain things. See, yeah, I talked about D-Fly, and I just started itching. But I was in this group text with some guys, and shit, I forgot what I was saying. The back scratcher thing just felt good, and it just threw me off. I don't know, man. About wing, like I just don't have. I just don't have, like, shit's too tight right now. Shit's too tight. I definitely don't have money to buy wings. I did have somebody ask me yesterday if I thought this was a good buying price, and I just can't answer that. Me as Mr. Wingbits would love to say yes. If I knew that they haven't did a burn, if they came out right now and said, "Hey, we let the liquidity handle itself, the original liquidity. We have not did any buy and burns yet. We're going to do it on this schedule or once a month or something like that," then I would say possibly, not financial advice. This is just pissing in the wind, taking the chance. I would think possibly would be a good time to buy a little bit. But if we find out that they have been doing daily buys and burns and have did some stuff already, I can't suggest it. What scares me is you look at a project like Rover right now, and Rover, when other tokens were going down, Rover held that penny for a long time. I did videos on it. I talked about it, especially my Monday, Tuesday videos. Like, here we are, like, everything's going down. Rover's holding still. And eventually, Rover couldn't hold it anymore, and it let go of its bladder, and it fell out. And now you got Rover going through, guess what? Guess what, guys? A yearly halving. Listen, I was big on Rover. Is anybody still big on Rover right now? Is anybody buying data? I'm seeing people starting to complain now about the big goofy things, the Darth Vader helmets on the front of the cars. I know at one time they were making some very good money with those. But has anybody made anything with? I mean, I might have made $100, a little over $100, $200 maybe. It seemed like as I was making Rover, the price was going down. Do they have paying customers? I don't know. It's disappointing. I thought Rover was going to be better than some of them. But can anybody tell me any of these projects that had the camera in the front that are successful right now? Definitely not Hive Mapper. Even though somebody mentioned if you're doing a lot of miles, Hive Mapper's got a special for you right now where they're giving you cash, yeah, USDC. As long as you promise to drive, was it like 2,000 miles or something like that within a certain time period? I can't promise that. I work. But if you do hot shot driving, or if you got a long vacation coming up somewhere, it might be for you. I'm sure they got stipulations with Hive Mapper, but it might be something y'all want to look into. I'm not. Now, if this was during hunting season and I'm going to Missouri, I'm going to the west side of Missouri, then the east side of Missouri, then home, then back to Mississippi a couple of times and stuff, which I don't know how I'm going to do that this year because my son's truck's not here. So God bless me. I don't know how I'm going to figure that part out. I might be renting a truck. I don't know. I don't. Somebody, and look, I don't want to knock these projects because I know the people involved in them. I know them through Discord. They seem to be good guys and stuff like that. But they got another one. I got several of y'all who have texted me about a new ESP32 project. You know, this is how I feel about my ESP32 projects right now. This is it. I'm done. I have sold almost all my entropy. I bit the bullet today. That's how tight. I needed some cash for this state final this weekend, and my main entropy that I had from the beginning, my main entropy wallet. I didn't touch that one. I kept my NFTs in that one. All my other entropy wallet, the other entropy, all the ashes I had, they had like $34 worth of entropy in it. Oh my God, I sold it all. How will the project survive? I don't think I had $100 in any other. Maybe one of my actual original, not the original ESP32, but they gave me a second cred. My second cred for the first like 5-6 months, all it did was burn. That was the deal I had, is they gave me a second cred and I just burned it all. So I burned millions of tokens. The third one, I didn't get a chance really to do anything with. I mean, it might have had $90 in it, maybe. But the rest of all these ashless, $30, $40. And then I took my NFTs, which that was even that was I think the NFTs was the biggest punch in the gut. Is I should have just this is my same thing I say about everything, but I should have just got off my ass and sold the NFTs when I wanted to instead of holding out. So now I got NFTs for sale for $25. Hoping that, hey, if I can sell 4 of them, that's $100. One thing I have to say is with this whole entropy experience, I am not out of pocket on anything. A lot. Maybe my 3 ESP32s, and I bought some ESP32s for other projects, but what were they, like $10 a piece, $11 a piece on Amazon at the time? So I'm out of $33 for ESP32s and that was it. All my ashlers, I just moved stuff around, sold stuff. Same thing with the NFTs. You were buying them through entropy. So I might have $200, and then maybe if I sell all the, if I can sell all my NFTs, what I got, one, two, if I sell it for $25 a piece. I have a very rare one though that I have for, I think I have it for 1 Solana, just because the other ones in that market range. Not that anybody's buying them, but I'm like, screw it, just to take a chance. So hell, I mean, if I could sell that one for even a little bit less than 1 Solana, I might walk out with $400. And again, my original ESP32 with entropy is still on there, but it is what it is. Has anyone have used an LTE Pi hat? No. Didn't even know they existed. Like LTE cellular, no. Ashler's an ESP32 inside. It is. I have nothing to do with ESP32s. again, what I was getting at earlier when I started that little mini rant was I've had some people contact me about another ESP32 project, but I told everybody I'm done with those. Wingbits, depending on when you bailed, we can argue that was successfully to a point if you got out at the right time. But other than that, name me a successful ESP32 project. There's what's it doing? It's sitting here and doing nothing. And what are we getting out of it? It's, you look at Flux and it scammed everybody, and I sat here and knocked them, and I got told shit for it, and I knocked them and told people don't screw with that shit. And guess what? Everybody went back and ran back to Flux time again. And guess what happened the second time? They got fucked again. Guess who didn't? See, sometimes it pays to be negative and grumpy. Sometimes it pays to get negative. I just have to keep telling myself, and I've said this 1,000 times on videos, and I'm going to say it again. And no, I'm going to spare y'all the story. I'm not going to say the story, but the days of a helium experience are over with. The days of $5,000 in 17 days, or $1,000 in 17 days, or hell, $1,000 in 6 months. Them days are over with. Does anybody want to argue with that? No, the man was in here earlier. I doubt he's still in here. He's a busy guy. I've said this in a lot of videos, so I'm not just saying it to kiss his ass because he's in here, because I think he's cool as shit. But whatever, how y'all feel is whatever y'all feel. But Tech Hustler was right. And we all made fun of him. Not we. Several of my followers in this Discord, in this chat, made fun of him. He even called y'all out in the video. Hey, I appreciate the shout out. Thank you, buddy. But the man was right. And I've said this in many, many videos. Don't get into a deep end project unless you just get horny over the data. Put it on a t-shirt. I'm horny over the data. Because you're not going to make it. How many of y'all right now are sweating with a Wingbits device? Sweating if y'all making that $450 back. Be honest. And again, I'm not knocking Wingbits. Do not take it like that, because Wingbits has said they're probably one of the most open projects that was out there. And I'll still say that. They have always said this is not going to be this huge money-making ATM device. Get into it for the project, for the data. Do it for the data. Do it for, because you're interested in the project. And that's the same thing Tech Hustler was saying when he was out there with sledgehammers, smashing shit behind his house. And we all made fun of him. The man said, we missed the bull market before anybody else did, before anybody on Discord or YouTube said it. The man was doing a driving vlog video and said it. And we all y'all all sat here and made fun of that man. And guess what? Tell me he was wrong, because you can't. So where do we go from here? I don't know. I don't know. Look, if Wingbits can do some buy and burns and their token gets over $1 a day, and I somehow continue making $40 and $50 a day, you can't see me complain. But again, I got 15 devices. And you got to remember also, 13 of those devices were online since 2023. So before anybody says anything about Grumpy and all the tokens he's getting, Grumpy is a Wingbits OG. When I started with Wingbits in 2023, around June, July, August, I always argue what date they show me connected, because I know when I was connected. I know it before July, and I've told you this before. There was like 3 or 4 other stations in the United States, and that was it. There was nobody in the South. I actually had one somewhere on the East Coast, around the Carolinas, Florida, Alabama, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas. That was all wide open, and I was the only station. So Grumpy has been online with Wingbits for 3 years. So when anybody wants to make a comment, before anybody wants to make an asinine comment about the amount of tokens or testnet tokens I'm making, I've been here since the long run. And as soon as that August or September time came in 2023, when you could add more stations, I had the stations ready to go. Majority of my stations were deployed already because of DFly. So as soon as we got the scripts to do it, I didn't even have to go touch them. I could remote into them, bam, 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 run this script, take DScam off of it, run this script, put Wingbits on it, and it was done. Car camping guy is correct. Past projects were overhyped. Helium was paying $350 a month, now $1. Tell you what, they're still selling phones, telling people that they're using a Helium mobile phone. Now, I'm gonna be a bad YouTuber here because I didn't do my homework, but y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But is Helium's cellular network completely defunct at this point? Because they got rid of all the CBRS stuff or whatever like that. Is everything now, hey, you put this box in somebody's bar room or a barber shop or a coffee shop and it's doing Wi-Fi offloading? Or does Miami and in Los Angeles and Denver or whatever it is, do they still have actual Helium cellular service when you're driving around? Or are you seeing, or is all that dead? Or is that not CBRS? That was something else. I'm just curious because I have a buddy who's, like I told you, if y'all followed me last week, who's all happy because, man, he called me up, man, you still in the Helium? I'm like, So I had 30 devices. I think I got like 5 left because I've been taking all the antennas off of them to use for mesh core. Man, I got me a Helium phone. Oh, you got a T-Mobile phone? No, fuck T-Mobile. That's what he said. Fuck T-Mobile ain't worth the shit. I got a Helium phone. I said, Mike, I got bad news for you, brother. You cut yourself a T-Mobile phone. Because I can tell you, Helium ain't got no service in Louisiana, let alone South Louisiana and the swamps where you're at. Welcome to T-Mobile. And I think that's shit, dude. But that's just me. Yeah, T-Mobile gave max. I mean, they're still piggybacking off of T-Mobile. But I'm just curious. So at one point, Helium had its own service. Helium had people put equipment up in these different cities, including Miami was the big kickoff one. But they also picked up like 40,000 subscribers down in Mexico. What happened to all that? We were supposed to see this huge token increase, price increase. We didn't see shit. You know, Helium's like 2 different stories. They both suck. You know, I seen guys back in 2021-ish who literally, with my own eyes, in Baton Rouge, who literally had $1 million worth of tokens. And that was before the token got to $40 and $50. He moved his shit off before he even got to $40, $50. It made millionaires. If I would have used my money a little better and not bought 30 devices, I ain't gonna say I'd been a millionaire, but it'd been $100,000 air or something. It's sad how much that jumped down, if that's the price to use, if that's the words to use. But it's sad how it's continued on, like in the point it's at now. It's about a classic story of crypto greed. You know, they got stories of greed out there that you learn growing up. This is crypto greed. This is between the mobile and the IoT and who's taking it over and what the hell's going on with it now. But I don't think we will ever see a project ever like we did with Helium. I just don't see it. Whether or not it's because more people are into this stuff now. Think about it. I mean, how many people were into all this shit back in 2020 to 2020 when Helium first came out, 2020, 2021? So you only had a few people in it. We were getting 20 tokens, 20 Helium tokens a day. And it was even back then, it was like $1 or $2 a piece. Eventually went to like $10. That's how I made $5,000 in 17 days. You'll never see that again. And I think we have to just, you know, listen. I know I'm contradicting myself. I know I'm making myself look like an ass. I know somebody's probably mumbling underneath their breath without typing it. I'm also the person that sits here and says this is the chance and the fun and exciting part of being involved in test net projects. Hell, how many of y'all in Mass Chain? Do you see that being another helium? Well, you're still taking a chance, aren't you? I'm in Mass Chain. I got 2 stations. Eventually, whenever I get my ass down to Grand Isle, I'll have 3 stations on Mass Chain. Maybe 4. I haven't decided yet. I have a waiting for me. But I think Wingbits is gonna be better than Mass Chain is. Does anybody want to disagree with me and argue with me? I just think the potential Wingbits being worldwide has the potential for more customers than Mass Chain that's only capturing ships around the shore around certain amount of miles around the coastlines. 4D Sky. You watch what Wingbits does. Do you think 4D Sky is gonna be that much better? Because don't forget, you're also a double into the hole with the cost. Helium Cellular, T-Mobile is great. I have like 5 other the free lines. The offloading doesn't take much now, making 20. Right, Jay Styles, I understand that. Like I've had several people tell me if you put the offloading little device in the right place where it's actually gonna get used a lot, you might do halfway decent. What I'm asking though is I'm just trying to learn for myself. Does at one time people in Miami were testing and using Helium cellular service, not T-Mobile, the Helium cellular service. Is that even still active? Or was that when they got rid of the CBRS radios and all that? I remember seeing what's his name, Just In Case, do videos of his stuff pointing to Denver from his house on top of a mountain and how great he was doing. And then he was doing a video all of a sudden saying, Helium got rid of CBRS. And he was a cool dude. I mean, but I just remember watching that video. Dude went from doing videos on how perfect he was, where he had this house pointed straight to this valley, and was getting all this traffic on his CBRS Helium mobile rate antenna, and then went to shit because he turned it off. Canada, you can get $14 a month on an annual plan, 40 gigabytes for the year. 40 gigabytes for the year. It's 3 gigabytes a month. I hope you don't have to run any kind of software updates. Like, what happens when you go over that? Don't get me wrong, $14 a month is good. I think even FirstNet paying $40 a month or something, but this, I don't know. What I started doing with Helium is I started pulling back those devices that I was paying these ISP charges for. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with Wingbits yet. It's still too early. It's been a week. It's been a week. And somebody, a couple people have contacted me and I told them, I said, guys, it's been a week. They're trying to figure some things out as long as just like we're trying to figure some things out. I would not go and start condemning them, saying what is good and what ain't good, what's successful, what ain't successful. Does the token price suck? Absolutely. I've made it no secret, and I put it in my Discord on Wingbits and the Wingbits channel that it sucks and I want to puke. So please, nobody take this that I am taking them for Wingbits, but I'm willing to give them a benefit of a doubt more than a week. 2 weeks, maybe. Trust me, I was hoping for a quarter, 25 cents a token. You'll never see me again. But I called it though. I said it. Y'all can say what y'all want. Fat guy knows what he's talking about. You're gonna have people on here who are getting a lot of tokens like me who aren't that upset other than token price. And you're gonna have people out here who are getting so little tokens. They're gonna call this scam, bullshit, failure, and everything else, and it's happening. You knew it. I do see several people making complaints about the buy and burns and people asking in the Discord and they're not really getting answers. I don't know what the reason is for that. I have not really talked to anybody from Wingbits since the TGE. I really haven't talked to people in that long. Like I had people who Wingbits had wanted me to give an interview to somebody who was looking at the project or something like that. They wanted to speak to several people who had been in the project for some time, and somehow I was picked on that. And then I was also contacted about demoing the device. I have not really. Them guys have been busy. I haven't really talked to them. I was asking just when the hell TGE was going to be, and they wouldn't even answer me that until everybody else knew. Where's Wingbit seed money? They didn't use it to help the token yet. Well, Wingbit seed money also went to pay bills because we've called them out on that, and I can't remember if it was Mike or Robin or maybe both of them answered that on an AMA and on the general chat, basically saying that this company has been established for 3 years. You got to pay bills for 3 years. You got to pay employees for 3 years. And until they got really established and you had servers and you had the data coming in the right way and in certain areas and you didn't sign contracts, how else do you pay those people? If that's the seed money you're talking about, like the fundraising seed money and stuff like that from different fundraisers and stuff, like, investors and things like that, that's got to pay bills. Like, you don't have people working over there for a year saying, look, I know I can't touch my tokens for 2 years. I'm getting paid then. No. People who are doing, the tokenomics side of it, they hired a guy for that. The programmers, and I forget how many people they said they had now. What they said, 10, 12, 14 maybe? Not all of them are working for free on Discord. So you got to pay them. Now, they raised, what was it, 3 million or 6 million or 9 million? I don't know. All these announcements from these different projects, Grass, don't get me triggered on Grass, but Grass pisses me off because they keep announcing over and over all these fundraisers and they getting all this money. I'm like, dude, we're going on 18 months that y'all haven't made a reward yet. Y'all have not paid y'all people. They boasted they have like 6 million users. I'm like, who the fuck are y'all kidding? Grass is just out the box. I would not be surprised if Grass is going away and the Discord has just got Discord people making it go on. Like, there's no news from nobody on that project. None. You don't hear nothing about this device that you just boasted you got 6 million people using it. What do you need a device for? Just to make a little more money, right? Anybody who buys a Grass device deserves to get scammed and fucked with no Vaseline. Sorry for saying it, but at this point, if we have not all learned our lesson with how this deep pin thing goes, again, I know you're sick of hearing me say this. You forgive me. Give me one more pass. But my boy called it. He was one of the first ones to say this. You had other YouTubers say it after, but he was the first one to say it. Most of these deep pin projects made money off the fucking devices, and they were going after that. And now you got Grass teeing it up. They're like Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods sober, on a tee box, ready to tee it up. And you want to bet they sell a shitload of them stupid devices? That's probably got an ESP32 inside of a plastic case. See, Jay Styles, I'm gonna finish with your question. Where's Wingbits seed money? They didn't use it to help the token yet. We don't know that. Unless y'all have seen an answer in that Discord that I haven't seen, because I have been kind of looking. It seems to me when anybody or anybody asks about buying burning, is there an announcement going to be made? Has it happened yet? If any question, basically they're saying we're looking into that, or we're going to make an announcement to that, or stand by for that, and that kind of stuff like that. That's, and listen, I'm not saying that's shady. Don't take that the wrong way. I think maybe again, maybe they're waiting for the end of the month. They're gonna do like Demo and GeoNet and say, May 1st. Hey, we burned this and this and this. I don't know. I don't know. Car camping guy. You make me wonder if you're actually behind the scenes, because that's what he always says too. This is a 20-year project, not a 2-week project. I understand where you're coming from. And that's why I was kind of hinting that earlier with Wingbits versus some of these ESP32 projects. Wingbits is an actual project. That's why I'm not completely panicking yet over this price. Where these other ESP32 projects, when that token was going down, there's no incentive to bring it back up. There's no project behind it to bring it back up. There's no reason to bring it back up. There's no reason to buy into it. This is a completely different thing. Wingbits has a project, goal, employees, data they're selling. Saying all that, I have to balance it out. One of my favorite lines that I heard another YouTuber say is, this isn't charity work either. I used to say this about helium, and I got called out and screamed at and told very ugly, nasty things about. My little troll, whatever his name is, I even forget it. He's probably still talking about me all the time, but I have him blocked. So I hate that about Discord's blocking, that he can still see what I type, even though it's not like Facebook blocking. Facebook blocking, people can't see what I text, and I can't see what they text. But my little scammer, whatever his name is, we got into it in several projects. And I'm like 8-0, asshole. I called out Nadix. Where are we at now? I called out Sword Chain. That was the first one me and him had a bad blowout about. And guess what? Here I am. And Sword Chain ain't standing no more. Called out Demo. Called out a couple other ones. I understand, like, you have to pay when I said this in Helium's back in 2020 with Helium on the Discord and on the Helium Facebook page. When Helium tried saying, we don't care about token price, we don't care what really happens on the miner side, we're just concentrating on this. When you decide that you're going to be a project, whether you want to call it a layer 3 project or whatever, tell me if y'all agree or disagree on this. But when Wingbits, Demo, or whatever decide that you're going to be a crypto project, you have to worry about the fucking crypto side of it. If the people who are the backbone of your project, Wingbits ain't shit. If what they got 7,000, is it 7,000, 2,005? Yeah, about 7,000 miners out there. If somehow we were all a union and we all turned off our devices tomorrow, I'm suggesting that. Just follow my example. What does Wingbits have after that? I say this about Helium all the time. My son goes to North Louisiana. I have to send the Helium device with him because he has a demo. I'm trying to keep my streak going. And even though the North Louisiana section between Shreveport and between Shreveport and Monroe has all these little hexes and stuff, he's driving through there and ain't a single one activated. I start clicking on them, offline, 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 offline. What good is the Helium network for any company trying to come in or wanting to use them if there's no fucking coverage anymore? Demo. What good is a demo project if everybody goes and unplugs their demos, which they are? Hive Mapper. What good is Hive Mapper if everybody's unplugging their Hive Mapper? You choose to be a demo. I mean, you choose to be a layer 3 project that you depend that you're relying on all this input and data from your users or whatever not the customer side, but the miners. I hate using the word miner but somebody wanted to argue with me last week that it is a miner. Okay, let's call it miners. When people unplug their miners, you have nothing no more. You have nothing to sell no more. So to me, companies have to give a shit about the miners because there's enough examples out there. Helium, Demo, for sure. You're about to watch it with Nadix. Watch. You think Nadix is going to stay self-sustained just on Teslas? Ain't going to happen. Sword Chain. What happened to Sword Chain? Did they even have a Discord anymore? What happened once they got rid of the little micros? I got attacked over and over for this, but you know where Sword Chain died at? I'm not saying it was right or not wrong or whatever, but when they allowed us to park our vehicle and continue to make SOAR while it was parked, which was allowed, and then they turned that off, it just wasn't worth it anymore. That's the only thing that made that project worth it. I don't think I think I paid $89 for that Mac. That was the Macron, whatever it was, the Sword Chain Mini. They called it something else at one point. I don't think I ever ROI'd on that on $89, and I had it for 2 years. Again, if everybody unplugs this shit, Sword Chain supposedly was going on, but like, who's providing data? CMH. I'm well. Let's just change the subject for a more gloomier subject. Some of y'all did reach out to me. Y'all know I had heart tests done, not two days ago, Friday, but the Friday before last. It has basically all come up inconclusive. They don't know if Grumpy has a heart. Hey, I could have told them that and saved $1,000 out of my pocket. Yes, gotta love fucking insurance. So I'm waiting to hear what the next steps are going to be from my cardiologist. We know there's something wrong. It's only a couple $1,000 worth of tests, Gotta love the American insurance medical system. But stress test sucked, but got through it. Nuclear test I did, and wearing a Holter monitor. I even walked up and down the levee. For those of y'all who know what a levee is, in Mississippi River, got 30-foot levees. I even walked up and down it like an idiot to give myself chest pains, because that's when I get them at, is when I'm walking in the woods hunting, trying to walk uphill back to my vehicle, or if I'm carrying some heavy stuff, I get winded very fast and start having chest pains. I don't know if it's just because I'm fat and out of shape, but they think it's more than that. I even went to the levee and gave myself chest pains and about passed out and rolled down a levee. I even pushed a fertilizer cart around my yard the next day to give myself chest pains again while I was wearing that Holter monitor. It's all inconclusive. I don't know what the next step is. I've had, because of the line of work I'm in, I had COVID 5 times. I had COVID before all the cool kids had it. Helping people in the interstate because of the job I had at the time. I think I caught it from some people in California. I remember it because they were sick, and that was before we knew what COVID even was. And I had this bad cough and thought it was a sinus infection for like 3 weeks. Couldn't get rid of it. And then you started hearing about this mystery monkey illness, whatever the hell it was. Um, Sounds like a movie, doesn't it? And after that, I had it 5 times. Um, I got the COVID shot. People might not agree with that, but I traveled across the country during that year several times for training. And my daughter has asthma. And as a father, at the time, if it happened again, I know so many people don't believe in the shot. We don't know what the hell is the shot. I understand that. But I was going to do whatever I had to do not to bring COVID. Because at that time, COVID was killing kids, teenagers, and adults with asthma. We can say what we want to say now about it. I would take the shot again. I would risk it again to not bring it home because my daughter gets asthma bad sometimes. She's playing softball. She has to use a pump sometimes. What they call it, a little pump. And as a father, I would do it again. I would give 0 fucks. And most of y'all are parents. Y'all would completely understand that. Do I agree with the whole shot thing? No. Do I think it was rushed? Absolutely. Do I think it was 100% safe? Absolutely not. But I would do it again. So, you have the conspiracy experts out there saying this is because I took a shot. Well, I know several people took a shot who don't have this problem. This could be a lung capacity problem for having COVID? Possibly. I would hope the doctors would have thought of that. But could it be a stress thing? I'm so stressed out right now. This is probably the most stressed I have ever been in my entire life. Between money, crypto, overwhelmed at work, and everything else going on in life, my daughter graduating, trying to figure out how I'm gonna do certain things this summer and making ends meet. And this is probably the worst. I told the doctor I live with a stress test every effing day. I literally told him that. Are you stressed out every day? Every day. Just what number you want. You know how you have the pain number 0 to 10? It's a stress day. Is it a 6 stress day, a 8 stress day, a 10? It is what it is. It would have been nice if Wingbits would have released at 25 cents each and could have made majority of my stress problems go away. But hey, it is what it is. It's life. It's life. It's life. Car camping guy, I appreciate that. It's not that easy. Because it ain't just disconnecting from say this. I never know who's watching this, so I always have to watch what I say about work, but I've been trying to offload work at work to people, and you come behind them and it's just causing you more work. And it's, I'm out on the road. Like I'm supposed to be a Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 job. I have not been off at 4 o'clock in years. Unless I got off early, like at 3 for something. On Saturdays and Sundays, I'm out and about doing it too. Hell, I do Saturday videos. I'm doing either crypto devices out there. I'm doing mesh devices. I'm doing family things. And there's just no break. This conference I'm going to next week, it ain't like I can go hang out by the pool or the beach because the way I look, I'm too self-conscious. You're not gonna see my fat ass out there. I'd love to. Years ago when I went to this conference when I was in way better shape, I was in the gym 6 days a week. I'd go hang out at that pool, out there, after classes were over with. We'd be out of classes. We start early, so we'd be out of classes enough time to go hang out with 4 hours of daylight left, have a drink and tell stories and shit. I ain't doing it this year. Who knows? Maybe locked in my hotel room and just watching TV with no outside static. Maybe I don't know. I'm sure my phone will ring constantly. Let me hold your tokens. I'm sure they will be there later. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Since we're gonna talk all gloomy and stuff, and I still have 15 people here. I was having some bad chest pains 3 to 4 weeks ago, and my wife knows nothing about crypto. Nothing. If you gave her $100, if you had a stack of 100s right here and say, other than the word Bitcoin, you can't use the word Bitcoin. Can you name, I'll give you $100 for every token or project or anything that your husband is in. All your $100 bills are safe. Even though I go around there talking, I tell her Wingbits, it's always like when your crypto project hits, when Bitcoin hits. I'm like, baby, I don't own no Bitcoin. A couple $100 worth. That's it. Or that Bitcoin ain't hitting. I have a hat that has Wingbits on the side. She don't know. So when I have to go to two different friends talking about, how to access my crypto, friends that are really, I've did videos on this in the past, like what's your plans if something happened to you tomorrow? And look, some of y'all might be fully healthy people. As somebody who used to work in traffic division for years, you never know when that 18 was coming to sideswipe you or train or some drunk is coming to run you off the road. You never know. Never know. What's your plans? Who do you have that can go to your computer right now and even knows what to do with your crypto? Do they just sell it for USDC and give it to your kids, your wife, mom and dad if you don't have wife? Like, how many of y'all actually have plans? Because I'm gonna tell you, I have sat here and lectured. I'm famous for this. Even when I was a commander, in the job I'm in, do as I say, not as I do. I love giving advice. A lot of people took my advice, and I've had a lot of people over the years come back and say, dude, I remember when you told me this, and it really helped me out. I didn't follow that same fucking advice. I tell y'all all the time to do shit. I told y'all, Wingbits would be a penny, might even go up. Sell, make some profit. And I'm the jackass who didn't do it. But I tell y'all, like, come up with a plan for crypto. Something happens to y'all. I don't have no fucking plan. And I'm having these chest pains. And I'm thinking, like, I could be one chest pain away from something real. And what the hell happens to all the Solana I bought at $9, $10, $11, like to brag to you about? Hey, like, even though it's worth $1, I'll still hold over 1,000 HNT. It's $1,000. Right? What the fuck you do with it? Like, if I died right now live on camera, maybe because technically my computer's still open, somebody can access it. Some of it, they didn't know where to look. But I have it spread out all over the place. I have to keep my own cheat sheet of where all these different tokens and projects are because I've spread them out because to be safe, I didn't want it all in one spot. I have a Phantom wallet here, but that same Phantom wallet ain't on here. This is just a junk Phantom wallet when I want to swap some stuff. It has no real tokens on it because it's got cellular on it. Got another laptop that has a different Phantom wallet on it. And what I'm getting at is it's a surreal moment when you got to talk to your friends about, dude, if something happens to me, this is what I want you to do. I'm 50 years old. Like, I'm not 80. But if I die and nobody can access any of this shit, what good is it? It's just weird, dude. Car came and got. I don't know if I can pause. Did I tell the missus that Wingbits was a bust for now? Well, if I would tell the missus that a Wingbits is bust for now, I tell everybody what keeps the missus here is that we're too poor to avoid. In this parish, you have to have an attorney. Not that I looked into it, but some parishes you don't have to, some counties you don't have to, and some counties you do. We have to have a divorce attorney to represent us in a divorce. And we can't afford a divorce. We can't afford the divorce attorney. So I tell her all the time, she'll be yelling about something like, you ain't going nowhere? What you mean I ain't going to go nowhere? We can't afford the divorce attorney. Fuck you. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to bed. It's a joke. Like, we joke about that kind of shit all the time. But I'm not telling her that. Because, look, I joke about her looking at new Lexuses and stuff like that. But really, and I've told everybody this, my goal for crypto, it was supposed to be my goal for the end of this crypto market. If y'all watched my videos in the past, like I said, I sat here and said I was not going to sit and watch my Exodus wallet go down 90%. And guess what the fuck it did? It went down 90%. Nobody knew this was coming. Nobody knew that this was going to happen. We were supposed to watch Trump bring us into the next echelon of crypto prices, right? Um, I told everybody I didn't want Lambos. I joked around that I wanted the fishing boat with the words "crypto is a scam" on the side of it, and the other side it would say "Bitcoin is a Ponzi," just to rub it in the face of people who thought crypto was a scam. I joked about that, but really, I told y'all for real. I just wanted to get rid of some debt. I got a loan over my head. Hurricane Ida came through here in 2021. Um, in 2022, we had to get a loan to finish fixing our house because the insurance company wasn't a month. We had 100-mile-an-hour sustained winds beating against the brick walls of this house. It ain't stick, it's brick walls. It fucked it up. Then we had a leak or something happen like a year later in the attic that leaked all through my house and destroyed inside the walls and all kind of stuff. I had to take a loan to fix that. Then you got credit cards. I got kids. I had to get a car for them, a little cheap car for her, a little cheap car for my son. I would like to get just some of this debt off me. That's all I wanted from crypto, from Wingbits, from these other projects. Grass. I pray despite what we say about grass, when grass released the first time, it went from 60 cents to like almost $4. I had over $1,000 worth of grass. I just pray that happens again. I don't think it's going to happen. We didn't have 2 million or 4 million or 6 million people using like whatever numbers they keep expanding. But I would love it. I can tell you right now, I'm not staking shit. I'm probably not even going to wait for it. When it starts going up a decent amount, selling it. I have to get like just a credit card paid off. Like just so I can say I accomplished something in crypto. And talking to some of y'all behind the scenes, majority of y'all want the same thing. The days of getting Lambos is over with. Does anybody disagree with that? I know we're going full circle to what we started talking about. What are you expecting out of crypto projects? But I'm not saying that if you get some kind of meme, Trump humps monkeys or something like that, I'm sure they got 7 memes about the assassination attempt, probably 17 or 700 memes. And I'm sure if you timed one perfectly and they had some liquidity in it, you could make a couple of $1,000s easily. I'm sure. But let's be honest, 99% of us, that's not happening to. So if I can slow and steady my way with Wingbits and some of these other ones, pay off a credit card or two or a loan, I'm good with that. I'm not greedy. I'm not greedy. I'm really not. I promise. Thank you, Happy Canadian. I really appreciate that. My son's going back and forth, not every day, but he comes home my wife wishes it was every weekend, but he still comes home every 3 or 4 weeks. It's a 3-hour drive. And a lot of that is rural driving in North Louisiana. I don't need him driving a 25-year-old truck that is broken down on the side of the road. It's a little bitty truck. It's not a Chevy Silverado. It's not a diesel truck like I drive for work or nothing like that. It's a couple of year old Canyon, GMC Canyon, but it works. Y'all seen it? I did videos from it. I'm a little tight in it, but guess what? I traded in my almost paid off GMC 2500 pickup truck for that. I still got a note. That shows you how crazy them prices are. My daughter's got a couple of year old, several year old Toyota Camry that she thinks she's fast and furious and likes to jump over curbs. And y'all want to know the oil pan cost for a Toyota Camry with labor? $400. Still ain't fixed the steering wheel, but guess what? It still drives down the road. It is what it is. I know not all parents agree with that. I know, I graduated in 1990. I hate to even say this, but fuck, we already down this path. I graduated high school in 1993, and I was driving a 1982 Mercury Cougar. All the women love me, let me tell you. I had a big back seat. That's all I can tell you. Grumpy led a whole different life in Slidell. I can tell you that right now. When I moved from Slidell, like they had a cemetery, close the gates, lock it up. When I moved, and it was like I might as well have changed my name from what I left in Slidell, Louisiana, to what to the new life that I started in 1996, where I live at now. But and then you try to teach your lessons, to your kids, and they don't want to hear it. And my number one saying I tell my kids is one day you will have children and realize some of the decisions we made. You might not agree with it. My daughter, she wants us to take her on a Disney cruise for her senior trip. And they had to pick me up off the floor. I thought, a Disney cruise, like I'll put some Disney hat on you and cruise you around the road. Yeah, you ain't paying attention, but I can't afford to go visit Happy Canadian. I already told Happy Canadian is holding out on y'all. He's gonna be pissed I said this. He has this awesome fishing camp like in North Canada, completely rural, like nobody's around like you see in these YouTube videos. And I've said before, I'd like to come stay up there for a week. He said, no, you don't, because it's, negative butthole 30 degrees with 17 feet of snow. But I couldn't afford to go there if I wanted to. In 2 months and 2 days, I'm eligible for 30. I'll have 30 years at work. I'm eligible for 100% salary, retirement, 100% insurance for the rest of my life. Then after that, we start drop for 3-4 years. I told y'all before, I use this Trip AI. I showed y'all before. I want to do this like, cause I would joke, I would watch all these country westerns and stuff. So I had the AI figure out this old frontier Western trip for me to take and stuff like that. It's great to plan out. I can't afford it anytime soon, but it's life. Y'all like this channel being real? This is about as real as it gets. That you cannot tell me I am not the most realest YouTuber out there. I watch some of these YouTubers with even a lot less subscribers than me who try to make it seem like they're big money grips. And I'm like, does anybody believe this shit? Like, dude, just be real. Using all this AI shit and everything. I'm like, dude, just be real. I had somebody text me today saying, and I know I kind of brought it up earlier, but like, what do you think Becker's doing right there? You think Becker's crying? No, Becker made his money. Again, all these stupid crypto tokens, these micro cap, 3,000 ranked tokens he was telling people to buy. He wasn't buying them. He was in Bitcoin and made his money. He told you that. If you listen to his videos carefully, he's like, and he would tell you, here's 10 of these micro tokens. 1 or 2 of them are going to go up. And he would, in all his defense, because my friend was knocking him. I'm like, dude, you can't knock him. He's the one that I stole that idea from him on my videos, where you see the white paper that says, Grumpy Dad don't know what the shit he's doing. Don't follow Grumpy Dad. Blah, 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 blah. I stole that idea from him. His was worse. His was like, his says, if you follow me into anything crypto, you will get wrecked. You understand, by watching this video, you will lose all your money and more. And he told everybody that. And then people still followed him, bought these no-name micro tokens, microcap tokens that nobody's ever heard of before, lost their ass off, and now they want to talk shit about him. Dude, he had a fucking disclaimer that said, if you follow me, you will lose your money. And I've always said that's why I've told y'all I feel bad when I still lose sleep today on how Entropy. I tell you, I'll be honest with y'all, what's happened with Entropy. And a lot of y'all reached out to me and said, dude, you can't control that, whatever. People can do what they want to do. Yeah, but I still feel bad talking about it, and that's what happens. Nubla. A fucking joke. Like I jumped in head first on that one, and look at that. You know, it is what it is. Like I've called some meme tokens a couple of years ago. I went 4 for 4. I even had people send me some tips and send me. I had somebody sent me a GeoNet. I talked about how I want to get GeoNet stuff. I don't know what he made. He didn't tell me what he made. I couldn't even tell you for $1,000 who it was today. Never heard from him again. Once he was from Alabama. He's like, dude, I heard you want a GeoNet. Yeah, I want a GeoNet. Give me your address. And I'm like, I'm not giving you my address. I don't like handouts. I don't even like when y'all give me super chats and stuff like that. I just don't like that because that's not what I'm here for. And he's like, dude, I'm sending you one. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to send you half the tokens. I'll split it with you. He's like, I'm not worried about it. I made a shitload off of your meme things. I didn't want to be a meme token channel. It was Whiff. I jumped on Whiff at 24 cents on Christmas Eve. I'll never forget it. On a hope and a prayer, I was watching some videos. And we did, if you got out at the right time, we did very good with Whiff. I forget what it was. 10x, 9x, something like that. More than that, it was up to $3. And then he sent me a GeoNet. And then after that, he wouldn't take anything. Like I haven't heard from him ever again. You know, but I'm not going to fuck with meme tokens today. I wouldn't buy a meme token right now if I had to. I'd be sitting in the hunting lease, not 3-4 months ago, but the November before that. And I'm watching and I would buy some meme tokens and watch it for a while while I'm supposed to be hunting. Yeah, I'd make $50, $100. Oh, okay. And I dump that one and I watch the next one and do it again. And I'm up $200-300. And then I'm like, well, here's another one. It's got the same pattern set up. 0. That's why I don't trade no more. I don't do any of that shit. Was our total whiff promo? Hey, look. I still say I like whiff to a point. Because you know how many times they said whiff was done and over with? It wasn't that long ago. Whiff went back up again. Whiff was down to like, I don't know what it was. 17, 20 cents, 25 cents, and went back up to like $3 again. Don't get me wrong, it has shit to bed, but it's 17 cents right now. This is Binance, so it must have been on before Binance. But we got into it. We got into it at 24 cents. 24 cents. And it went up to $4. $4.86. Came back down to $1.11. Went back up again to $4. Came back down again to 34 cents. And then went up to $1.30. $1.30. And then now it's just. And I can't remember the other meme tokens we got into. So like I said, especially if you found a place that did leverage or something, I don't know. It is what it is. Don't give up. Someone will send money. Where's Who Fought It? I haven't heard from Who Fought It. He might have finally had Trump overload with all the shit that he was doing. He might just finally blew a circuit breaker. I don't know. But guy that don't live in the United States, he took it way too serious. I told him that. It was unfortunate. Nobody should take politics. And I've said it before, not for y'all to get me on a different lecture, but listen, I used to be very, very conservative. And I still am to a point. Not really Republican, because I feel like the Republican Party these days is just as lost as Democrats. They're just both hypocrites on who can hypocrite each other the most right now. But even when I was really, really conservative, like following conservative stuff, reading conservative books and stuff like that, I still wasn't at that point. You know, people completely triggered by what Obama did and Biden did. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do about it? Like, I just told y'all 5 minutes ago all the stress I'm in. One thing I tell you I'm not stressed about is what the hell's going on in the government? Like, what am I gonna do about it? Like, I'm scared to hear what's gonna come out Trump's voice next. And then you see who the Democrats are talking about running. That ain't no better. Like, they haven't learned their lesson. Like, they didn't learn a single thing in the last election. They were still gonna put a piss poor shitty candidate, and then instead of realizing why you had so many Democrats vote for a Republican, I don't think they voted for Trump. It's just that your candidate was that bad. They took the least of the two evils, and you just don't want to believe that. They ain't talking about running Kamala again. Like, I'm not getting a political rant. I'm not getting a political rant. Look, I don't agree with everything ICE is doing. I do agree with some things ICE is doing. It's illegal to come to this country. If I go walk my happy ass in Canada right now, you're telling me they're going to welcome me with open arms? So why is it so wrong when we arrest illegals that come into this country? If I go walk my happy ass into Mexico right now, waving at everybody, crossing the Rio Grande River, not going through a point of entry, what's going to happen to me? Go try that shit overseas. But now we're evil? But do I agree that they should be riding around and just, that's bullshit. Absolutely not. Like I said, I think it needs to be toned down. But again, that's no politics. See, who brought up who fought it? That's worse than bringing up grass. I still think who fought it's in here lurking through different names. I don't think you can send the pic on there. Damn, Milkman said he graduated in 1989, which I thought I was the oldest person here. And drove a 1971 Corolla. Damn, that was 18 years. I didn't realize they made Corollas in 71. You see why I didn't last long at Napa Auto Parts when I was right out of high school. And I was 18 years old, so I can't complain about my 11-year-old Mercury Cougar. Glitch Brothers says, fuck entropy. All right. Anybody got anything else? Where's 619 at? He must still be in my Meshcore Discord. Meshcore, 619 finally is so ecstatic. He finally got his Wingbits station online after all this time. It's been offline. I don't know how long it's been, like weeks, months, or something like that. And I know somebody's gonna get their feelings hurt on this, but it is what the fuck it is. He finally just took fucking Bit Harvest off of it, put Pi on it, put his script, Wingbit script on it, and it's working beautifully. Hello? Why do you think I had fucking electric tape over this shit for the longest time? It was a good product in the beginning. But I also, the only reason I was using that is because to be able to use Helium and Wingbits and EarnApp and what's the other one, the medical one? Cure Coin or whatever. I could be a Cure Coin millionaire right now. I have no idea. I don't even know how to claim it. I don't even know how to look for it. But I've been running it for 4 or 5 years. Anyway, I had 8 devices on Bit Harvest. I got 0 left. And I told them, it's unfortunate. Some projects, even though they're good to show you they can just lose their ways, I guess. 619 still alive. He hates D-Pin, you know, kind of like I hate the pizza buffet. I hate that pizza buffet because I go home sick. But if there's a good pizza buffet where I'm going tomorrow, I'm eating pizza buffet. Chinese food. Ever since I had my gallbladder out, that was my surgery I had a couple of months back. Chinese food tastes wonderful because I grew up in a kind of a Vietnamese community in New Orleans East. So we had some like actual Vietnamese food for real and stuff. But I love Chinese food. It is so great going down. But I'm not gonna. It's way TMI to tell you what happens after that, and I feel horrible after that. Horrible. And before my gallbladder, that is the only issue I have with gallbladder. With my gallbladder being out, that and occasionally barbecue food. But I'm gonna tell you right now, don't be in that bathroom when I get back to after Chinese food. I will bust the door down, pull you off the fucking toilet, and it'd be bad. I know it's way TMI, but still, if my buddies at work tomorrow be like, "Hey man, go on Chinese food place for lunch," and be like, "Yo, mother, God, yeah, I'm coming." Put your reservation down for 1 p.m. in the bathroom after, but 619's like that about he can say what he wants about deep in crypto. He hates it and he could talk negative and nasty about it, but guess what? He's still in it. Vietnamese pho, is it pho or pho? Pho? Pho, pho, fum, pho? The casino I go to, Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, it's Chinese food, but it's really Vietnamese food, and they got that. And I think it's good, but I had somebody with us one time who was Vietnamese who said it was probably one of the best they ate. And yeah, I'm just not a soup guy though. Like it's good, don't get me wrong, but I'm a meat guy. I need my piles of General Cho chicken or sesame chicken or Mandarin chicken or something like that. Soup like gumbo. Gumbo gets me like I get all full and bloated, and then like 15 minutes later, you walk around a little bit and you're like, I'm starving again. Gumbo does the same thing to me. I'll sit there and at the table with my family. They love for me to make gumbo when it gets cold. I'll make it from scratch. I've did videos on it. Takes me like half the day to make a good gumbo. Or at the hunting camp when I used to go to this other hunting camp, and sit there and I'll eat it and gorge myself, like eat it. Because it's so good, you don't want to stop. And you're like, oh my God, my stomach hurts. What the hell was I thinking eating that much gumbo? Then like 15 minutes later, you're like, what can I snack on? I'm hungry. That's the thing about me and soups. Like it just like it just bleeds through my stomach wall or something. Yeah, wonton with meat in it. Yes. Yep. 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 My mom, because like I said, we grew up in that kind of community, so they have restaurants all through there, in the New Orleans East. And if actually, I think one of my videos, I drove through there, if y'all remember, and it had the Vietnamese signs and stuff through there. I drove through there, New Orleans East. You got to make sure you got two guns with you, an AR-15, a bulletproof vest, and that's just being for real. It's a lot more Mexican now, Hispanic than it is Vietnamese, but it's rough. But anyway, shit on it. I grew up in there, man. I'm OG. Okay, yeah, right. But growing up there, you had that, and you had those restaurants, and my mom used to do the egg drop soup, whatever, and um, but I used to do the wonton because I like you said, the wonton with the meat in it. Yep, that was many, 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 many years ago. That was 40, 40 years ago, man. That's the way to depress everybody. More than 40 years ago. It was like it was early 80s, 83, 84. Yeah, I'm a Gen X baby. All right. Well, I hope look up Banff National Park. I know some of y'all not Facebook friends with me, but you talk about that. But the other day when we had this little cool front come through, it was only like 60 degrees. I actually went and bought a sandwich. Let's see if I can find it. and just I did a little Facebook post. Like I just backed my truck up. This is Lake Pontchartrain. Like I said, it was an awesome day. The wind wasn't. It had a little bit of wind, but it wasn't windy. It was like 60, and I'll be honest with you. I sat out there and I prayed a little bit. I thanked God for everything that the positives, healthy children. My son's in college. He's actually, according to him, passed all his classes. See it to believe it. But hey, he says he got A's and B's. I got to see it to believe it. My daughter's graduating full on, like A plus student, straight A's, what you want to call it, graduating. Going to, it sucks that you can't be proud of your kids and tell where your kids, because the internet is an unsafe place. I'm sorry, guys. It's just, well, 90% of y'all, I know y'all, but there's always 18 to 20 people in here. There's not 18 to 20 people chatting. So you don't know who's watching this. And it sucks that I can't say where my kids are going to school at. That I have to be very vague about it. Because she got accepted at a damn good college. Full scholarship, everything. Full scholarship. Everything paid for. And you should be proud of that. But it sucks that the internet's just a scary place. But I sat out there and I just sat there. I sat out there for probably an hour and just ate my little Subway sandwich. And just, I took a picture of my phone and I put the phone in my pocket. I didn't surf it. Honestly, I sat there and just watched the waves come in. No fishing pole, no making videos. And it was awesome. And it actually cool. I wish I could do that today, but it was like 87 degrees today already. We're in April. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. But yeah. So keep your heads up. I just have this feeling that I think Wingbits has a second, third wind to it. I'm not ready to call it any kind of, I don't even want to use the F word for failure or nothing like that. I really don't think my back's killing me. I have to lean back. I know some of y'all complain when I do this, but I don't give a shit. I I still have a lot of faith in Wingbits. It's been 1 week. I know several of y'all have texted me worried. Some of y'all ready to call it different names and stuff. I'm not ready for that yet. Especially if they haven't did a burn. Do I wish they were a little more clear, visible clarity on what their plans are with burns and how it's happening? Absolutely, of course I would. But somebody like me who has just so I have an idea of how close I should be to the ledge of jumping off or not. I wish, but it's gonna come. This is they have been too good to us over the last 3 years to keep that kind of stuff vague. I'm not saying we might like the answer. I'm just saying that I think at some point they're gonna announce that, okay, today we did burns, or hey, this is our schedule, or when, God forbid, the next time these contracts renew, I don't know. I mean, again, my biggest question is, and who knows, I might get a text in the middle of the night from one of the 7 people that I speak to in that project. 7, 6, 5, 6. Is we went to mainnet on April 21st. That was last Tuesday, April 21st, April 22nd, Wednesday. I would just like to know the contracts that you signed on April 21st and before. These big contracts, these extended contracts. Is that money placed on the side for burn? Or did y'all use all that for infrastructure? We'll call it infrastructure stuff, salaries and stuff. Since technically y'all weren't TGE yet, y'all weren't obligated to use that money. And now any contracts that y'all bring in now, then that would be split 50% going to TGE. I mean, to burning and buying and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm curious on that. I'd like to know, and This isn't just Wingbits. This is just the ADSB. I'll leave it called ADSB TAR 1090. Like what does a contract like that go for? I'm just curious. Like what does a 12-month contract to whatever company is buying it? I don't know if it's United or Boeing or you know some news channel. I don't know. I don't know who even buys that data. But what does even if it's not Wingbits, if it's FlightAware, what does that kind of does it matter what data they looking for? Like does if they only want to know what the average like of just altitudes and nothing else, all we need is altitudes of planes. Is it a stripped down data plan just for that? I'm just wondering. Um, yeah, car camping guy. I think it's just you and me having a one-on-one conversation at this point. Says I'm the only one here. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like sometimes I get like 10 people and there's a lot of people chatting, and sometimes I get 25 people and there's only one person chatting, me. I don't care. Like I said, it is what it is. I still do the lives, and until y'all don't want to come and there's nobody talking, I know I'll get 100 something views over the next couple of days when people go. But I got people who contact me saying, "Hey, I work at 1 o'clock in the morning and I listen to all 3 hours of your live." I'm like, dude, your job must be boring because I can't watch. I watch YouTube videos now on other stuff I'm interested in, and even if it's like meshcore or anything else, and if it says it's longer than like 12 or 13 minutes, I'm like, fuck this shit. I ain't watching this. And here I am doing an hour-long video sometimes. I just talk too much. I'm accused of that a lot, even at work. We got to do a seminar tomorrow for a group of people, and they're scared when I talk because people start asking me questions, and it's like this. I come on here and say I'm doing an hour-long live and be on it 2 hours later. And I got people in the back room going, okay, it's time to be done. And people ask me questions. I'm gonna keep talking. And it's like this on here. Is this over? I got hockey. Hockey? Who watches hockey? He must be from Canada. Um, oh, still here. No, I'm done, guys. I got a couple things to go do. I'm gonna talk to my daughter a little bit. We're trying to figure out what we're doing again with the state championship Friday because it's supposed to be raining and they're talking about delaying that, and then we got to figure out what I'm doing with hotel rooms and stuff. And it's I gotta go shake a can on the corner for a little while to pay for that. But I appreciate again all the support. I appreciate you know, everybody's trying to hang in there with Wingbits. Definitely not unplugging stations or anything like that. I'm not nowhere close to that at all. Grass. Somebody said on my grass earlier. I wanted to touch on that. Grass is like helium right now for me. I had about 8 or 9 stations on grass. I'm down to maybe 3 or 4 at different places, and I have no inclination at all to go figure out, even if they need a effing reboot. They're still running. I get some of those little coins or tokens or whatever, the diamonds or whatever, from people that have done referrals. But even at one time I had 32 referrals. I think maybe third of those might still be online. Maybe. Is what it is. Earn app is killing me. Earn app, I was doing, almost $100 every 2 weeks, maybe. But they killed all their Linux devices again, which means all my Raspberry Pis, all my Wingbits DIYs are dead. I'll keep hoping they're gonna bring that back, but there's no telling. They brought it back for a day or two, then killed them again. That's killing me. I think I got like 3 computers running Earn app, so they ain't making shit. But I don't know. That's the 2 things. So, do you find out if Phantom has support? I'm dead in the water. I don't know what you did, man. I don't know. I'm gonna discuss that with you, DM. I don't know what the hell you did. I hope you got your. You should have your 12 words written down somewhere, sir. Because I told you to put that shit in a notebook and put it somewhere safe and make sure the correct 12 words. you might want to go to a different device with those 12 words. You know, I know you got 19 people here, but Mr. Glitch Brothers is having an issue where he has sent his Wingbits token to his Phantom, and then on Phantom, it says it can't find any information on that token. So he says he's on mainnet. It shouldn't be on testnet no more. It should be on mainnet. I'm hoping that's all. I'm hoping it's just a glitch in the matrix. And again, if you take those 12 words and you put that onto a different device, it should pull up, you know, depending on how many accounts you have to open, but it should pull up that Wingbits wallet again. And cross your fingers that you hope they're there. So I don't know. Oh, all right, guys. I'm out of here. It's 9:10 my time. I appreciate getting all the support. Please make sure you hit the like button. At least do that for me on the way out. Get a little bit of attention for people who might want to watch this overnight. I don't have any videos coming up anytime soon. I've been wanting to kind of do a video on the Wingbits thing, but you know, it was a successful TGE launch. I'll give them that. Token price, kind of expected a little bit what I thought I was doing, but you know, but other than that, like I have no projects coming up or anything like that. Thursday night live is going to be kind of up in the air. I mean, unless we're going to sit here and talk about all this again, maybe it'll be a burn or something between now and then. Who knows? We'll play by ear. We'll see what happens. So, thank y'all for watching, and see y'all in the next video.